Hello there. This is an astrological forecast for Scorpio for 2012. And this also applies if you have a Scorpio ascendant. So 2012, it's the year that's been much prophesized about, and quite frankly, I'm not surprised. There's a lot happening in the stars. 3 big planets changing signs, Jupiter, Saturn and Neptune. And Venus, the planet that rules your finances and love, goes retrograde this year. And Mars, your ruling planet, the planet that rules your energy and your passion and your drive, also goes retrograde this year. So much happening. And I know you're a fixed sign and you really like to have things planned out and don't like surprises. The more you can go with the flow, because it's likely that plans will change, the easier these aspects will be on you, my Scorpios. So let's start out with Mars, because Mars goes retrograde on January the 24th until April the 14th. And it's retrograde in your 11th house of dreams and wishes and goals and friendships. Now, wherever Mars goes retrograde in your chart is where the energy is slowed down so that you can reevaluate what you've been doing. Because wherever Mars is, the energy is usually moving forward quickly. So it's slowing down for you. You might find that your social life slows down. You might also find that you really don't want to work with teams. You don't feel as though you want to work in groups particularly during this time. You need to reevaluate yourself and your own energy as to what you're doing. It's a time, excuse me, when you need to reevaluate your goals, your dreams, your wishes, to be aware about them, aware of them. Your projects you're working on might slow down so that you can take a closer look at them and really see if all the energy that you're putting into various projects and various people in your life, friendships, see whether it's really working for you. And so that's why it slows down. So it's not a bad thing. And then if you look at it during the retrograde, when Mars goes direct, then you're ready to take action on all the things, all the conclusions you came to during the retrograde. February the 4th, we've got Neptune changing sign from Aquarius to Pisces, so it's moving into your 5th house, where it's there until 2025. So, first things to say is you could be very romantic about love and relationships during this time. A very spiritual kind of relationship could come into your life. You may idealize a lover. You might put somebody on a pedestal. I've seen people with children. When they have this transit, they can see no wrong in their children. Their children are just wonderful during this whole transit. It goes on for many, many years. You may get involved with somebody who needs help. You're going to have to be careful about this. Maybe think you can reform an alcoholic or a drug addict. Be careful about who you get involved with and whether they're going to drain your energy. I would avoid speculation or any kind of risky financial adventures because really there's a tendency with Neptune not to be able to see those ventures very clearly. What it is very good for is your creativity, and you're going to have some new and really inspirational ideas in anything that you do that is creative. And Scorpios, so many of you are extremely creative, so really take advantage of that Neptune into your 5th house after February the 4th. On May the 15th until June 27th, we've got Venus going retrograde in your 8th house. And Venus rules your finances and your love. And what this means is that possibly somebody who's owed you some money could actually repay it during this time. If you've had an issue with somebody financially and there has been some problems maybe with a joint situation, you could have a reconciliation during this time. And sort out any financial differences during the retrograde. It's not a good time to get involved in any new financial ventures. It is a good time, however, to sell off any stocks that you have that you want to get rid of, because things often get inflated during the retrograde and other people don't know the value of things and may overpay for something. However, it's also a great time if you want to buy any antiques to go onto eBay, any trading sites, and to get at bargains. Very good time for doing that. Not a good time for making very big investments, particularly for you in the 8th house, not into real estate, not into stocks, bonds, all those kinds of things I'd steer clear of during that retrograde. An intimate partner that you had in the past could well come back into your life. and the pace of your relationships generally will just slow down. It's time to reevaluate, to think about, sort out all the issues that you do have with your relationships and your finances during the retrograde. And then after the retrograde, you can move more easily in the area of love and finance in your life. We've got in June, Jupiter changes sign. So for the first 6 months until June 12th, we've got Jupiter in your 7th house. So this should bring more people into your life, more opportunities to meet people, to network, to learn from people, for them to learn from you, but just more of a feeling of an abundance and more opportunities in your relationships. It's important not to go over the top with a particular relationship and get too excited about it too quickly. Just make sure you're not going crazy about it, because later this year Saturn does come into your sign and it will balance out anywhere that you've gone a little bit in the extreme, in a very positive way and very hopeful way that's just not real. It has to have a bit of reality to it as well, but nonetheless more opportunities in your relationships and more people coming in. After June the 12th, we've got Jupiter moving to your 8th house. Well, this could certainly bring some good opportunities for money coming to you from other people, from a grant, even from a bank, or an inheritance, or somebody just giving you some money. You may have an opportunity to work in a partnership with somebody. Just make sure that you've studied it, you know the person well enough, and you've looked at the situation, and you're not overextending yourself financially. As long as you're not doing that and you've got clear boundaries in place with who does what in a particular partnership financially, you'll be just fine, and it should be quite fortunate for you. Then we've got Saturn. Well, you've been in the process actually of finishing up a lot of things, a lot of completion of projects, relationships, situations completing on you. And October the 5th is when Saturn comes into your sign, Scorpios. Not to be frightened of. It's just a different cycle. It's there from October 5th till October of 2015. So there's going to be a lot of internal growth during this period. It's a time to restructure yourself, to reinvent yourself. What do you want and need? Not so much what everybody else wants, what do you want? It's time to really think about what makes you happy. That's what Saturn's all about. Saturn is not such a terrible thing. Saturn often creates losses and things because it takes away from you the things that are no good for you anymore in your life, that really are not making you deeply happy. You may not feel it at the time, but later on often you will realize that. So it's a time to look at what really makes you happy during this Saturn into Scorpio. So don't be afraid of it. Really take it on board. And knowing you Scorpios, you love a bit of intensity to get your teeth into, but get your teeth into yourself and your drives and the things that you really enjoy and make you happy on the deepest level. And when I talk about deep, Scorpios, you can certainly identify with that. So there you have it. That's your year ahead. I wish you a great year. You might want to have a reading about what this year holds in store for you, what the aspects are in your chart. You might want to ask me a question for $25 that I'll answer in an email of up to 150 words. I'd be delighted to hear from you. Thank you very much for listening. Bye for now.